Hello and welcome to the commentary track for Gorilla Interrupted. I'm Mike Stoklasa.
I am Richard William Thomas Evans III.
And I'm Jay Bauman. I played Dex in the movie.
I play Sid in the movie,
I play Rich Evans in the movie.
also known as Ray Grabowski,
Oh yes, Ray Grabowski.
a distant relative to Cliff Grabowski of the Grabowskis fame.
We're the Grabowskis, wild and free.
Well, Jay, why don't you talk about this opening shot?
Well, this is an idea I had because obviously this is a whole new opening for the movie. We re-edited the entire thing, and I thought it would be funny to start with this sort of epic cinematic music, and then just hard cut to Rich sitting in a chair eating potato chips, and then the zooming out of the planet shot was done by our friend Jack.
It looks fantastic.
It looks like an effect in Gorilla Interrupted should look.
Yes.
And these opening titles are obviously Superman inspired.
So why the 8-bit font?
I don't know. It just kind of felt appropriate, like with this piece of music, and then just the movie itself is so sort of low tech. I think of like old video games.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like the Superman credits though, that they fly at you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Did you intentionally put my name in these opening credits 11 times?
You know what? I actually followed the opening credits of the original edit for the most part. That's why it says it's produced by me and Rich, even though I don't think either of us did any actual producing on the
It
film.
was at our places. It was filmed.
I guess you have more right for that than I do.
You're this associate producer credits, sure.
Right now there. That is my grandmother's old house.
Did you know these neighbors at all?
Actually, I think that house was abandoned.
Oh,
That
you should have
house was
filmed
like,
there.
It was abandoned for most of my childhood. I think like 3 or 4 different people lived there. And
I remember seeing people live there.
they were only there like for like months at a time
Yeah.
though. For most of my childhood, that house was empty.
Yeah, so this is my parents' basement now, and that's our friend Brett's parents' basement. So, different house and 2 different basements,
Well, there's 3 distinct different locations.
3 distinct different locations, and doubling for 1 at the time. Well, 2 technically.
This little room that is Mike's basement,
Mm-hmm.
Mike's old basement. And then where the drummer was, that's Brett, and that was Brett's basement.
Yep.
Me in the chair, that's at my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
The best is when we start cutting to my shitty old apartment that doesn't match any of these locations at all. But it's supposed to be my kitchen, and the hooker scene is Ray's bedroom, although it's a completely different bedroom than it is earlier in the movie,
Yeah. Well, it could be anywhere.
I suppose.
It could be the hooker's bedroom.
That's true. So yeah, that was Illinois, now we're in Wisconsin.
Right. And that is not the camera we filmed the movie on. That's probably a better camera.
We probably should have filmed the movie on that
Yeah,
camera.
that was a Hi8 camera, right?
No, this was a mini DV camera, but it
No,
was,
the one that I picked up.
Oh, maybe
That
I
was
don't
your
remember.
old Hi8 camera.
Oh, that was mine. I have no memory
Yeah,
of that.
this was shot on a mini DV camera made by Sharp, which
Yes.
is probably the worst manufacturer of electronics, other than Kobe, the knockoff brand of Sony.
I actually destroyed the camera we shot this on with a hammer years later on camera. I filmed myself destroying it.
That seems incredibly wasteful.
I guess it would have come in handy. We could have filmed the new effects on this old Sharp camera.
So how come we didn't do a film look effect on this movie, Jay? How come you made this artistic decision?
Oh, I wanted
keep
to
the
stay
30
true
frame.
to the vision of the film. So I think Deathlist has already appeared in the movie approximately 37 times. There it is on the
Yep.
little tray. We tried to get it into almost every shot.
Yeah.
I think the original goal was every single second of film, Death List was going to be somewhere.
Yeah. A noble goal, but ironically, we panned down to a table with videotapes on it, and it's not there. But later, it's in the ceiling for some reason. It was a noble goal to try to put in every shot, but
Yeah.
you're also trying to make a movie at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
The biggest regret of my filmmaking life so far has been I did one pickup for this movie, a close-up of a TV, and I wanted to put Deathlist on the TV, and I couldn't find it.
Uh-oh.
And I'm talking about just recently, because
Yeah.
we shot this movie in March of 2002. It is now March of 2013. So for the additional shooting we had to do to kind of complete this and restore it, I had to get some insert shots, and I could not find Death List. It's around our studio somewhere, but I don't know where.
Yeah, it's currently missing. So
I did not know that.
I actually
That's
had
terrible.
a Where's Death List moment the other night when I was trying to find it. I scoured the entire studio and I could not find Death
it's
List.
possible we threw it out. So in true Where's Deathless fashion, I need to go in the dumpster and look for it.
There's no way we would have thrown that out.
I mean, it could have happened accidentally. I did a
Oh.
thorough cleaning of the studio.
That would be very disappointing.
I guess we should talk about the movie.
Can we just keep talking about Death List?
No.
Oh.
Death List is a big part of this movie.
Yeah, this was right when that was all going on. I don't know if we've ever properly explained Death List. People know what it is at this point, but have we explained the backstory of it?
No.
Somewhere, probably, maybe.
Yeah, it's a amateur movie that was really bad, and we got in a little fight with the filmmaker who made it because
Yeah.
we criticized it.
We gave it a review that wasn't glowing.
Yeah. and it sort of started a little internet flame war, and as a joke we put it in the movie in our movies in the background, and we still do to this day.
To this day, the same copy.
So this is Dex's battle pack.
Did you name him Dex because of the cartoon?
I don't know. I don't think so. Like just Dex sounds like Dexter just sounds like a nerd name. I
Yeah.
just picked that. I was unaware of that show.
Oh,
whatever
really?
it is.
Dexter's Laboratory was
Yeah.
the cartoon, yeah.
And Sid, Sid
Obviously,
Vicious,
yeah.
so Sid, Ray, and Dex. They all have 3-letter names, and then Jacob, who stands out like a sore thumb in this movie, has the longest name.
You'll notice Ray is wearing a bear shirt in the scene. Chicago Bears. It was Ray's destiny to turn into a bear, but it was thwarted.
He wears many different bear shirts in this movie.
Every shirt he wears is a bear shirt, yeah.
Where did that come from? Where did that idea come? Were you just in a thrift store and there were a lot of bear shirts? And
I think
just
so.
became
It
a
was
thing?
something random like that. I know it wasn't planned before we started shooting. It was just
Right.
we started working on the movie and it just kind of happened.
I think that's where I found the red bear shirt, and it just sort of spiraled into that. These are the worst looking scenes, but they're also the funnest.
These are the best scenes in the movie. The scenes on the alien spaceship.
They're fun because they were slapped together with absolutely no care.
Yeah. These scenes were shot after the initial 7-day production schedule. They were shot weeks later, and the experience of making the movie was not a good one, and I wanted to finish the movie, but I just didn't care anymore. So we slapped these together. I guess that's pretty obvious, right?
I never noticed on the original version of this movie, maybe because the image was degraded a bit, but I never noticed until doing this new version that he had the computer cord going into his mouth. I never noticed it.
It's because aliens. Aliens do everything weird.
So here's another bear shirt. We still have this shirt.
Yeah.
It's hanging up in the other room of our studio right now.
In fact, I believe I wore it to a convention or two.
I think I've got one of the other ones too, somewhere in my closet.
Do you?
Yeah.
If you had the
Yeah.
Fuck Philadelphia shirt, that would be great.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that one. I know I've got that other white one with the pictures that got like 2 bears on it. Whatever. Who gives a fuck?
So this scene is very harsh. It's lots of yelling and violence, and it's not funny. And it's not trying to be funny. That's what's weird about it. It's very off-putting, which I think makes it interesting. But what was the motivation behind this, Mike?
Well, I in general wanted to play an asshole. I thought it would be just fun to be angry and violent and mean.
Okay. I'm sure someone will say this is misogynistic, but she's actually the only smart character in the movie. She just abandons it early on.
Well, she is cheating on him, right? So
Is she though? I actually never took it that she was. I don't know what your intention was, but I
who
never.
wouldn't cheat on Ray?
That's true.
He's a horrible asshole.
I like that they're both just horrible to each other. It's not
Yeah.
it's not completely one sided or anything.
I guess this is just Ray's character is a miserable, horrible person. Everything bad happens to him.
Yeah.
He just wants to be a bear.
He just wants to be a
He
bear.
just wants to hibernate. He just wants to be left alone.
Don't we all?
And then, unfortunately, he has to become a gorilla.
His whole life is fucked by hitting the wrong button aboard the alien spacecraft.
Yeah, there's another bear shirt.
There's another.
That's
bear
that's the
shirt.
one I think I still have.
Oh, that one I know
okay.
has like a giant rip in the back of it from when you were falling down the hill.
Right.
I remember seeing that at some point in the movie. So this is a pretty well executed little scene, I think, as far as like the shots and the way it all was put together.
Yeah, this is the typical glowing door.
Yeah.
I was trying to get their feet to appear underneath it, but
No, it works. You can see a shadowy figure.
yeah. And those are alien masks left over from the Battleman versus Satan short. They're clearly masks, as you can see.
I find it funny that Ray Grabowski has like pink shutters in his house and the furniture of a 75-year-old woman.
He sleeps in faux satin sheets.
That weird red wicker headboard.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, the scene is the aliens are trying to locate the power source of the battle pack. They mistake Ray for Dex and abduct him, thinking he's the genius that made the battle pack. If you're wondering what's happening in the movie.
It's all pretty clear, I think.
Yeah.
The movie surprisingly makes a lot of sense.
You spent a lot of time on that wall. The DNA resequencer.
So this is Rich, and then you cut to the reverse of the aliens, and that is Rich again.
Yeah.
And you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm, of course, filming here.
See, there's the bear.
Almost hit the bear
Almost
button.
hit the bear one.
Almost.
Poor Ray.
The aliens write in English, too, apparently. But
They speak perfect English.
Yeah.
Except for the
So-
parts where they don't.
It's technically alienese, just a horrible coincidence that perfectly resembles English.
I see.
so Rich Evans pulled a piece of foil tape off the wall and stuck it to his own face for some reason. That was...
I don't remember that at all. I don't know why any of this happened.
When I was going through and re-editing the movie, every scene with those aliens ends with you guys just throwing the set apart.
Yeah,
Every scene.
we just didn't care.
And I kept them all in this version. Some of them were cut out of the original cut.
This is Lisa Renley.
Yeah,
old,
this
old
is
friend of yours, Jay.
Yeah, Lisa was in a lot of my high school movies, and then this, and a few other things since.
And there's Deathless behind her. Not
I
in the
don't.
shot.
I don't. Okay.
In the reverse.
I don't think it's on. Yeah, it's not behind me on my angles, but yeah,
There
there
it
it is by
There it
the
is. It's on the
sink.
counter.
This was my first apartment, and it was a shithole.
It was.
It was filthy. It was an attic that was converted to an apartment.
A location people might remember from Where's Deathless.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is the kitchen that Sid vomits violently in.
Was that the same apartment where the Rich Evans table incident occurred?
Yes, it is.
Yes, yeah, that table right there. We'll talk about that because this scene's not interesting.
Yeah, why don't we?
We did a little premiere party at this apartment for the movie I did right before this called Perfect Goes Home. And what happened, Rich, when you showed up to the premiere party?
Well, I showed up at the premiere party, and there was a table sitting there. There was a whole bunch of snacks and alcoholic beverages sitting right there on the table. And I just put my hand on the table, put a little bit of weight on it, only to discover that it only had 3 legs. And
No, it had 4
It had
legs.
4, but one was broken.
one was like broken off. It wasn't really attached properly.
And you're completely underplaying what was on the table. There
Go
was
for
about
it.
there was about 100 different bottles of booze.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a comical
was-
amount of booze.
The table was filled from end to end with bottles of booze, and they all.
It was the first thing I did when I went there too. I
It was
walked
amazing.
in and went right to lean on the table.
Yeah.
Now this is actually shot outside of the actual building that the other scene took place in.
It is.
And
Sid's just hanging out for some reason.
Just
Isn't-
standing there.
Deathless jammed in like a power cable or something on one of these.
Not in this scene. In a later
No.
scene outside the apartment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just started getting creative with where we put Deathless and just shoving it in random weird places. No lighting for this scene.
No.
No time.
You have 1 week to make a movie. Okay. 1 week.
We also didn't have lights.
We had our
shop
our
lights,
shop
yeah.
light, our one light that we bought specifically for this shoot.
So here's Jar Jar Binks of the film. Jacob Spaulding.
He's wacky. Do you get it?
He's wacky.
Well, if we remade this, he would probably be a real Safari Man.
Yeah,
You'd get like a 50-year-old British guy with the handlebar mustache.
I rewrote the script for this.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah.
And like a blunderbuss.
Yeah, he had a little different of a angle. In this movie, he just appears and does nothing.
Yeah, all the other characters sort of make sense to know each other and interact, and Jacob just sort of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that he starts tracking Ray, but it's sort of convoluted that he just happens to run into him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's just. I think later on it's explained that he was hunting pigeons or rabbits or something. But,
Yeah.
Well, he looks just like a hunter.
Yeah.
This was the most shocking footage when I was re-editing the movie, because I never saw the original footage. I was actually at work when they shot this, and it was there's basically two styles of filmmaking in Gorilla Interrupted. There's competent and incompetent, and this scene was just a nightmare of horrible footage.
Well,
It was amazing. This was, I
yeah.
think, when everybody's spirits were at their lowest too,
Right.
so that would make sense.
We filmed down in Chicago and everyone got sick, and then we went up to Milwaukee and it was cold. It wasn't bitterly cold, but it was cold enough to be annoying, and it was just overcast and gray every day, and I hate that. It just spoils my mood.
Yeah.
I was so sick and tired and overworked when we filmed these scenes. I don't remember anything about this particular scene. Nothing. And I rolled down a hill with painful branches jabbing me in the back and
I
face.
think you split your foot open, like you cut your foot really bad. I seem to remember that. I also remember. Do you remember coming into the hardware store when I was working, dressed in that monkey costume? You just walked in to tell me.
I kind of do.
It was probably after you filmed this, but you walked in to tell me something, and you just came in the full costume.
It was probably nice to wear. It was probably
Sure,
warm.
yeah.
It's a little Looney Tunes action here.
It's a little too wacky for
That,
what the
that
tone of this
pole
movie should
really
be.
needs to be thinner for that to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that's there. I think that was a Garrett idea.
I would venture to
That,
guess.
that's not sort of my humor style. I don't remember.
No.
Thinking
And I
of
tried to
that,
cut out
or-
a lot of the goofier stuff from this movie. I kept that in just because why not, but a lot of the really sort of like fourth wall breaking and really cartoony stuff I tried
Yeah.
to cut out because I know the original intention was to kind of create something more in the tone of like Ghostbusters.
Right. And
This
when
this
when
is
I-
not the house that Ray should have. It really isn't.
Maybe it's her house. Maybe it's Elsie's
That
house.
could be. That would make more sense.
maybe they're squatters.
There you
No,
go.
no. Ray was like supposed to be like a construction worker or
Right,
something
right.
like that. So it's possible he is.
He has a line of dialogue about he works all day in the steel mill.
Oh yeah,
for this.
Which is why this house is so wrong for him.
because it's dumpy.
You would have to establish that it was like
No,
her-
'cause you
her-
have, like,
she
pink
was
flamingos
decorating and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Well, it's pretty barren in there now. You know, it was gaudier and
Well, this is when we were trying to sell it. We
Yeah.
threw out a lot of the gaudy things because nobody wanted any of that
Yeah.
crap.
If you want to see all of Nenu's treasured items, you can watch The Cleaning Lady. There's lots of good stuff in that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the house in its full glory.
Don't you understand? It transforms at will.
You just turned into a gorilla.
A what?
You just turned into a fucking gorilla.
I turned into a what?
So there's Deathless in the reflection on Garrett's
Oh,
close-up
I remember
there.
setting that shot.
That's probably
up,
the most
yeah.
inventive use of Deathless in this movie.
So,
So I really, I don't think I ever met Laura. Laura, right?
yeah.
She's really like the perfect bad actress in this movie. It's like it's bad, but it's not off-putting bad. It's amusing,
Yeah. Right.
and the way she says "asshole" is funny.
There's in the previous shot you could see the dented in register, the vent. that your uncle was
Oh.
talking about because we kicked the door open so hard.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, the front door?
The front door, yeah.
Is that probably for like the alien invasion
Something
sequence?
like that, yeah. The door handle hit the vent and bent it inwards.
Feel so bad for my poor uncle.
Yeah.
So for all these spaceship shots, I had to add a grain filter to make it look shittier, because the images look too clean and nice.
Do we want to talk about the Crystal Pepsi?
Of course. Yeah, I had a can of Crystal Pepsi. I don't know why, and I just saved it.
We should tell people what Crystal Pepsi was.
Well, Crystal, it's fairly self-explanatory. It was a clear Pepsi that tasted like Pepsi but was clear. So without
What was the point?
It's because
Gimmick.
a gimmick, yeah.
Yes.
And for some reason, I saved a can, and I had it for like years, and then just threw it in there. So
But I mean, it's kind of rare now, hard to find. But that can was empty, and what I'm pouring on my face is just water.
yeah,
But I think everybody who sees this movie is like, "Oh my God, what are you doing with that Crystal Pepsi?"
yeah. So I don't know. Don't sue us, Pepsi. You know, we endorse your products. They're great.
This is probably the best alien spaceship set in the movie.
2 walls. At least there's a light. I think there's a light on us.
It looks like it.
That's
Well, I think the scene was shot. Maybe all the alien stuff was shot on a different camera, because I think that was the camera you shot the second Oranges movie with.
Possibly.
When you had upgraded,
Yeah.
because the image is a little clearer. There's Spider-Man.
Yeah. See, everything goes wrong for Ray.
Every
Even
single
eating
thing.
cereal
Oh,
is
there's
a chore.
Deathless on the table, and then there's Deathless behind him.
He has 2 copies of Deadlift. It's so hard to understand.
Yeah, these 2 shots are shot in different states.
Oh yeah.
That's in my
Why
plan.
did we do that?
I don't know. I think
Why
we
would we-
forgot a shot, maybe?
I don't know.
That's a very good question.
I mean, it makes sense like going from room to room, but yeah, shot to shot like that is weird. We had to have had a reason. Or maybe not. I don't know.
So here's our aliens.
It's supposed to be a whole fleet of them, but it's just 2 people in every shot.
Yeah,
I think it's usually me and Garrett.
Yeah. This is... I can tell by the body movements which one's Garrett.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
I can never get that effect to look very good.
what, the
When,
guitar?
when Greg disappears,
Oh,
when he disintegrates.
Oh, it's fine.
so Ray is unaffected by the aliens' laser blasts.
Yes.
He's just too powerful. He does not get vaporized.
This is the worst thing. This whole kitchen fight.
I love the way you say aliens too. That was great.
Yeah,
Well, that was just
a-
fucking around.
That was just fucking
yeah,
around.
There's a lot of
The best parts of this movie are when we're just fucking around.
yeah.
Yeah, but
There's only one scripted scene that came out really great. The funniest stuff in the movie is the stuff where you're just being goofy.
Well, you need a structure to hold everything together.
Sure, but it's ironic and unfortunate that happened to be the case.
Well, that was the point. I think the original script was fairly bare
Yeah.
bones, wasn't it?
So yeah, there was all sorts of stuff where they put a garbage can on Monkey Man's head,
Oh, yeah.
and then they're beating him with a broom or something.
So you just cut all that out.
It looks like a home movie.
yeah.
Like, I mean, not that this movie looks great to begin with, but that footage in particular was really shaky. Oh, and we just threw Death List.
Mm-hmm.
Got thrown at one of the aliens there. This is horribly embarrassing. This costume.
That is not a ventilation tube.
When you film this whole battle sequence too, it's only the 3 of you. Even though there's 4 people in the scene. I was
Yeah.
at work when you shot this.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. That's even more embarrassing.
Yeah, that's you and Garrett.
So
there.
there's the 2 people in costume, and then there's one person behind the camera.
Right.
Yeah, it's sort of odd that we shot most of Rich your scenes in Chicago, but you worked the entire time we
Yep.
were shooting, and
Yep.
then we moved, and I was not working the entire time we were down there, and then we went up to Milwaukee, which is where we shot the majority of my scenes, and I worked every day.
Yeah, it was all scheduling related.
It was,
because
yeah, it was kind of a
Garrett
mess.
could only come in a certain time, and that we didn't want to drive up to Milwaukee and then back down, then back up
Right.
again.
It just kind of worked out that way.
Nanu's house, where it's always Christmas.
I was gonna ask, why was there so much Christmas stuff around?
I don't remember. I know we had a lot of Christmas shit in general.
I guess this would have been somewhat close to. It was shortly after Christmas.
Well, it's when we were in the process of moving and throwing a lot of this stuff out. It's probably just like in a closet somewhere sitting around, and we probably just dug it out and used it for some reason. I don't
Yeah, we might have. It's unfortunate because this house was filled with garbage everywhere, and you were in the phase of trying to sell it, so a lot of stuff got thrown out. If that knight statue had been by the front door,
yeah,
I would have
yeah.
knocked that thing over.
Oh, that would have been great. So yeah, here's our epic alien battle. Just 2 alien masks.
Yeah,
That's great.
There was some thought put into, because all these aliens looked the same, that they were like a different, not breed of alien, but they were sort of like the drones,
right.
as opposed to the 2 on the
Yeah,
ship.
right. Well, they're the warrior class. that
Yeah,
has-
yeah.
has to go in, and we tried to make the most of 2 masks. Layer one in the background and one in
Yeah.
the foreground, and
That looks great.
There's a plastic model spaceship on fire. It's actually the same style of model ship that we used for the Titanic review. It's the perfect little Area 51 spaceship. I don't know. Shooting these aliens?
Fuck you! Now.
So this was that scene that worked. This was the one we were all happy with.
This is when we actually thought the movie might work.
This is what, yeah, all the characters kind of click. Even Garrett kind of works in this scene.
yeah, Garrett's good at delivering the exposition here.
Yeah, well, he has a great moment where he realizes as he's explaining that Ray turns into a gorilla when he gets mad. As he's explaining it, he realizes how ridiculous it sounds, like mid-sentence, and that works well.
Yeah, if there's one useful aspect of Jacob's character, it's the exposition man,
Yeah.
because our characters don't really do that.
Well, our characters don't care
Especially
what's
my
going
character.
on.
Yeah. Ray wants to know what's happening. My character doesn't care. Your character doesn't care. Well, your character is tied up in the Julie subplot. but-
Yeah. And he's sort of fascinated by the idea of aliens and
Yeah.
such.
If you have 4 characters that all hate each other and don't care at all about anything, then it doesn't work. But one has to sort of push things,
Yeah.
and that ends up being Jacob.
I guess that would be sort of the Ghostbusters influence too, with the Sid character. He's sort of like the Bill Murray of this, where he's treating the whole movie sort of ironically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're the Egon, Ray's the Ray.
Oh, is that where that came from?
I don't know.
Do you even remember?
Probably not.
Although this does have a similarity to the Young Ones as well.
Oh
that we
yeah.
discovered later.
We didn't know that at the time, but Garrett had mentioned the Young Ones and the level of destruction and yelling, and the Young Ones is a great show. But it wasn't an intentional
I've
influence
never
on this.
seen it. I'll have to.
It's pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
You became the very image of Lucifer himself.
Sorry, I'm drinking coffee for real. I think it was like 11, midnight, something like that. I just needed coffee. I wish I could remember where Piss Weasel came from.
I just
and
said
erase it from existing. It's used. Well, it'd be fine once maybe, but it's used twice in the scene, like within less than a minute from each other. Awkward zoom in.
I have to hand it to Garrett. I could not have delivered dialogue like this during this production.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
just- Having a hard time with everything.
It's really amazing that this is a movie at all.
What's amazing is we kept wanting to make sequels.
Yeah, I guess this is a good enough time as any to talk about that. The movie itself, you know, it is what it is. It didn't turn out that great. We slapped it together in a week, but
Did we all hate it when it was first done, though?
yeah, I think so. We were all sort of depressed and miserable, and then I don't know. There's something about the concept and the characters that we kept coming up with other ideas for sequels.
I know the sequel was going to open up with you walking in on Julie, who was just flat out fucking Sid.
Oh, yeah. She
Yeah.
said that she was lying about being in love or whatever. And
Just to get out of hell.
No, Jay was gonna say, but our love destroyed hell.
I don't remember this.
And then she says, well, your love did.
Oh, that's amazing. I have no memory of that. I
And
just
then-
remember that Jacob was going to sue them.
yeah, we did a tell-all book, like how we saved the world, and it's the three of us on the cover.
And he wasn't like mentioned at
He
all.
wasn't mentioned at all.
That's so appropriate.
It's very appropriate.
And there was something with wasn't
You were going
Jesus
to,
running like a corporation?
Here's what was going to happen. Ray got his shit together, and he was working at a nice, good job at a Christian corporation called God Incorporated.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And then somehow I forgot how he gets stuck in some kind of new battle suit you build. So he's trying to go about his normal life.
Oh, yeah.
In this giant clunky armor.
You accidentally weld
And
him in.
His life is getting re-ruined. In the meantime, Dex's character, upset at losing Julie, builds a love machine
Right.
to force her to love him. Your character kind of took like a dark turn.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah, and then Jesus wanted the love machine to make
yeah.
Jesus
everybody
was the head of the
love-
company, right?
Jesus
Yeah.
was the head of the company. And,
But nobody knew it was actually Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was going to make everybody love Jesus with
And
the love machine.
Jesus ends up becoming like the villain at the end because he wants to like brainwash the world into loving him again.
Oh, that's right. He wanted to use the love machine to
Yeah.
make everyone love him. Wasn't there a Bible Man character in there too somewhere?
Yeah.
I forgot about that,
That was
yeah.
the company, and he was like a fraud. Like at the end he shows up and he's like, I'm Bible Man, and then he gets like his costume gets melted.
Plastic
onto his skin.
costume, yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets horribly burned. And it's just this awkward moment. We're all standing there like, we're like, this is for real, Bible Man, and he gets burned.
There was something, I don't know if it was that storyline, but there was also something with Sid where he has some sort of like plastic bubble thing on his head. Like he's quarantined.
We came up with like 3 sequel ideas, so
Sid
I don't remember.
gets some sort of disease. So he's like quarantined with this bubble thing on his head, and he just starts vomiting profusely into it,
yeah.
and it's just swishing around in the bowl on his head.
Doesn't he get SIDS?
SIDS, that's right, they named it after him.
Yeah, which normally is a sudden infant death syndrome, but it was like sudden, something to do with vomiting.
Wasn't there another version where there was some kind of like accident that makes Sid super smart? And he uses he only uses his great intellect just to show Dex up, like correct Dex's math.
Gosh, I don't remember that one.
And then there was the spin-off movie just about Sid.
There was?
Called Sidnapped.
Oh, right.
where he-
Where's
he-
the fight kangaroos?
He's boxing kangaroos in Australia.
In an underground, like, illegal boxing ring.
Oh, man.
Oh God. We need to make all of these.
Well, maybe someday. Maybe someday when we make a proper Gorilla Interrupted, then we'll have the opportunity to make follow-up films.
Right. We have to remake this one.
You can't start with Sidnapped.
No.
Although I guess you could. It would just be horribly confusing to everyone.
It's more accurate.
Look, you guys go have a good time. I'll hook up with you later. Bye, Sid.
Dex.
Come on, babe, let's go.
bone! Hey, forget him! He's a little nerd boy. Hey, I've got only one question for you.
What's that?
Are you ready to rock?
Kind of?
Kind of. Well, come on!
My bananas? Escape! I must come up with a cunning...
Oh, this is your favorite scene, right, Mike?
Yes, this was the first scene we shot in the whole movie, I believe.
Actually, the very first thing was Ray watching TV.
Well, yeah.
But this is the first actual scene.
Scene with everybody.
Yeah.
A quick recap. I wrote this script in one night, I think in an hour. And it was intentionally very short, 40, 50 pages or something like that, just to kind of keep things under control and leave a lot of room for improv. Our friend Garrett there decided, him and his friend Dave, decided to add a lot of lines to scenes and thicken the script out a lot, which would have slowed down production. So we started shooting the very first scene, and I had no idea what the scene was.
And you wrote the scene.
And I wrote the script, yeah, and... So
yeah, the Santa hat, for some reason, that became a thing. Like, why is he wearing the Santa hat?
He wanted to wear a Santa hat. He wanted to hold a Spider-Man doll. Someone
Yeah.
was pouring a can of Diet Coke on someone's head, and all these like kind of humor styles that I didn't want in the movie. I didn't want wacky.
Yeah.
I didn't want, like you said, breaking the fourth wall, cartoony. I wanted real dry, sarcastic, Ghostbusters-esque tone to this movie.
Yeah.
And the wacky jokes and stuff I just didn't like. Some of it came through, but so we had a little bit of a...
The ironic part is the stuff you filmed after the initial shoot with all the aliens is completely goofy and fourth wall breaking.
Well, that was where nobody cared.
That was that was the slapping them together scenes.
That was where the movie. Well, this movie's a failure anyway.
Yeah, we just have to finish these scenes. I think though that real blunt style of humor is
well, that's a
more
different
appropriate.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's different than the wackiness.
Yeah.
It's more blatant than silly.
Yeah.
Blatantly not caring is the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
The joke isn't the silly thing that's happening. The joke is that we don't care that the set is falling on top of
The
us.
joke is that this is an actual scene.
Yeah. The aliens aren't farting or doing goofy stuff. Slipping on banana peels.
Yeah. This was shot that first day too.
Yeah,
this kitchen part. This
was
was an extension
after
of that.
the kind of awkward moment where we all...
Where nobody knew what was going on and what movie we were making.
Yeah. We decided to kind of keep things going.
So that was an additional shot of the Beaches cover, because clearly we can't show clips from Beaches.
Mhm.
So we made a fake rental copy of Beaches, and I filmed this, and that's where I would have put Death List if I could have found it. And the song is our friend Jack's cousin is a musician, and he whipped up this Wind Beneath My Wings sound-alike song.
Is that Jake?
No, a different
cousin.
Different cousin, yeah.
How many cousins does Jack have?
I don't know.
So Ray Grabowski's character is everything. His whole family died in a
trash compactor accident.
Which is the idea. I got that idea from an actual accident that I heard.
Oh, really?
About in the news in Chicago, where a garbage truck was driving on the expressway, and the guy driving the garbage truck accidentally hit the thing that lifts up the back with the can.
Oh my god.
And then he went under an overpass, and the thing slammed into an overpass and fell off and landed on like a church bus.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Like a multi-passenger van, and killed like 7 people or something.
Wow.
So I was
Let's throw that in our comedy.
it's like, well, it's like a trash compactor accident.
It's very bizarre,
Right,
yeah.
It was on the news, and they're like, a freak accident is what they called it. So it's like, yeah, I'll write that in.
For those of you that may not know, those are called VHS tapes.
Yes. And this is another
This
extended
is
scene.
this is a different take than what was in the original version of the movie.
This is
because it's
clearly-
longer, more
yeah.
awkward, and worse. So it's in the movie. And then you just
Middle
throw
finger for
the
no reason.
throw the monitor down on the ground
I think
and then tear the set apart. That's how you do it.
that's how you end the scene.
Yeah.
Oh.
And here we put a mattress up against the wall because there's flowers on it.
Is that why we put the mattress on the wall?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why it's there.
It's
to give it like a floral scene.
Yeah, instant Hindu temple setup. Surprising it looks as good as it does.
You know, we thought to buy
and,
lays, yeah.
flower petals on the floor, and you know.
All the thought went into this scene. Well, this is the centerpiece boobery scene, so
Yeah.
you gotta go all out.
Well, we probably had a good half an hour to set this up. It's plenty of time. It's plenty of time.
The one thing I just hate about this is that lamp. The lamp falls on his head, and there's all this tape all over it.
Oh yeah,
Because we
yeah.
wanted to attach a chain to it, and we didn't have a lamp, and we couldn't find one, and it's just
Yeah,
like-
what was it that actually falls on his head? Was that
I think it's an upside down plastic thing from a halogen lamp, like an upright halogen
Okay.
lamp, kind of like that up there.
yeah?
Like that up there, that's useful for the commentary track.
I'm talking to Jay, and
Yeah,
people
yeah.
know what I'm talking about, and we didn't. There's nothing to attach a chain to, so this is what happens when you slap a movie together.
Yeah, this is why
Well,
you
some of
should
this
spend
movie-
time making props and planning.
We had to slap. I mean, there was
Yeah.
no other way to get this done in a week.
Pacification. There's a sense of satisfaction flowing through me, like water. I feel enlightened. I feel like there's this great weight that's been lifted off my soul. I feel. Oh my God! There's a fucking lamp on my head! What? No! What? Fuck! Don't destroy! If you destroy, ow! Everything.
There, the heavy plant base actually hit Garrett right in the face.
Oh yeah,
Cut his
give him
nose
a cut
open.
across his nose.
You'll probably see a picture of him or a video of him in the behind the scenes with the cut on his face. So yeah, a lot of us got injured. And Rich, you didn't get injured though. Well, you cut your foot open, right? Or something like that?
Something I didn't even.
I probably got injured the least. I was the only one that
Yeah.
didn't get horribly sick. I didn't lose my voice. I guess Rich, you didn't really lose your voice either, did you?
I was probably starting to.
I like how there's 16 items just lined up in a row just to be knocked over.
We're just throwing
Yeah,
things down on him
Things continue to fall from the ceiling for no
for
reason.
no reason.
But
That was terrible. That was terrible.
And that's why it's great. So this was the idea with this was that it was supposed to be outdoors, but
Yeah.
we shot it in my basement.
in hindsight, that was a smart decision. Because
sure.
outdoors would have been dark and
All the outdoor
grainy
scenes in
and-
this movie look the night
Yeah.
outdoor scenes look pretty bad.
But our lighting situation was a shop light blasted at the set.
I know you
So-
wouldn't guess that by looking at the scene,
No.
but that's seriously all it was.
Yeah, you would guess it was very carefully lit. I think we shot this very late too, and I was pounding
Oh
on
yeah,
that door.
I remember. I was getting worried about that
Yeah.
because you kept pounding and yelling
Yeah.
really loud.
Well, I had to stay in character. You know?
I understand. I understand.
I took my role in this very seriously, Jay. I studied Sid, you know?
So awkward lighting that's blaring up on us like a horror movie, and horribly bizarre close-ups. That's this scene.
Should we-
Now, was there something about the way this was shot where you had to throw in that joke about you seeing her getting kidnapped?
Maybe I don't remember.
I remember something on the set where that was improv. Where you like, yeah, of course I saw the aliens.
Was it improv?
I thought it was.
I don't remember. There's Death List. So this was what I was most excited about seeing when I went to Rich Evans' house for the first time, was that wallpaper.
Yeah.
I'd seen it in numerous shorts that I couldn't wait to...
Did Nanu design her house after Graceland? Because, like, she has an Elvis bust, and is this like the jungle room? Like, the house looks like Graceland, too, from the outside. Can we ask her? Can we do, like, a seance? Right?
If you want to do a seance, I'm all for it.
See if we could contact Nanu in the afterlife.
Because I can't tell you who decorated that way in the first place, because that wallpaper's been up since before I was born.
Yeah.
It's probably not up there now. I'm sure whoever had the house took it down, mercifully, but...
So this is the famous hooker scene. I actually had to flop all their close-ups because everything was wrong. All the eye lines and the 180 rule. There's a lot of scenes like that in the movie. Yeah. Learn the 180 rule when you make a movie.
We should retitle this DVD release just How Not to Make
How
a Movie.
not to make a movie.
Just have like pop-up video things. Boop, boop.
Well, I think that's kind of what makes the movie interesting, though.
Remember to light your scene.
You should retitle it D for Effort.
The fact that this movie makes as much sense as it does, and actually kind of keeps you interested because new things keep happening throughout it. It's kind of impressive.
Yeah, it moves
It's
along.
a shame. It's a shame that the movie isn't good.
Well, technically it's terrible.
Yeah. That's its biggest flaw. Like the reason all the scenes are awkward close-ups of us is because we were using the onboard microphone.
Yeah.
So yeah, echoey, bad sound, and some scenes are shot terribly.
Just for the credit of the movie, though, the sound isn't that terrible.
I've seen a lot worse. Yeah.
I've seen a lot worse shot today.
Yeah.
At least we knew to yell and record our dialogue in close-ups like this.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch this movie and understand what everyone's saying.
That's true.
Which is kind of amazing.
That beats some movies like Suburban Sasquatch
Yes.
and things like that. There's Death List in the ceiling.
Yeah, it's stuck up in the ceiling tile.
And if you ever see at a store somewhere a copy of Suburban Sasquatch, buy it immediately.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of lines are shouted, one because of sound and wanting to pick up the dialogue clearly, but also because nobody could speak. Everybody lost their voice. It was
Yeah.
yell or you couldn't talk.
I know with Mike, you noticed real bad in the hell scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was when your voice was completely gone. Garrett, too.
I had to shout a lot on top of being sick.
Yeah.
So
One of the many go fuck yourselves. And
I know
there's
you
that.
guys love this scene.
I like that there's a footprint on the wall
yeah.
behind the head alien guy there.
Did I spelled inputs wrong?
Inputs?
I put IMPUTS.
Well, it's a foreign alien language.
It's just like a
That sounds like a cheap excuse, Jay.
No, it's a legitimate excuse.
input. I think for some reason I can't spell. I don't know.
This is the famous scene where, when I was going through the footage, Mike just panned the camera away from the alien because he just decided he was done filming the scene, and
Yep.
it's in the movie because it's all there is.
Yeah, this was the challenge of this was visually describe or visually show how the aliens use the battle pack to connect to their weapon systems.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening, believe it or not.
That's what's happening.
Do you think you met that challenge?
I think I met that challenge, yeah.
Okay.
But-
I'm pretty proud of that little shot there.
Yeah, that's a nice,
kinda
nice
neat.
shot.
Incorporating new footage with this horribly grainy old footage. Where was this? Was shot?
This was shot at the Field Museum.
the Field Museum. That's right.
It was like we actually climbed the steps and filmed on the thing at the Field Museum.
I have
and it
no-
was friggin' cold out.
Yeah, I remember that. I would have been there when you shot this, but I have no memory of being there.
I don't think you were.
Where would I have been?
Well, no.
Because this was the same time we went to the Sears Tower.
It's possible you would have been just sleeping at my place because we didn't need you.
Like, fuck it,
No,
I'm
we
staying
all
home.
drove together.
Yeah, we went to the Sears Tower and got those shots of the looking down on the city.
So that couldn't be because I wasn't there for that. I was at work when you went to the Sears Tower.
Oh my god.
I've never been in the Sears Tower.
Oh.
Maybe we made multiple trips.
We must have made multiple trips to downtown Chicago.
I don't remember. This was shot in the suburbs, of course.
Yeah.
This was. I think we were by. This was in like Country Club Hills or somewhere down there. In the,
Yes.
where we're like, we don't want to go downtown again. What's the closest thing that sort of looks? So we went to this
Or lights.
where there are lights.
Where there are
too.
lights,
Yeah. That's not in front of like a Walmart or something that's really distracting. So this is like a old town kind of shop area. And then there's a bunch of light spilling out of this building, so it's like, let's have our conversation here.
It's always best to film your scenes dictated by where a light is shining out a window from, and not where the best location for the scene
When you don't have
is.
lights or power source or permits, or
Yeah.
anything, you got to do that. At least
And we filmed a
This
100
is-
takes of that, too.
This is guerrilla filmmaking.
It's true.
was that a pun?
Yes, it was.
Oh.
But it's also true.
So here's our little alien invasion sequence.
So Jay, I had the lasers green in the original, so they matched Dex's gun, because they came from the same power source.
Oh.
So you really fucked up.
But red represents evil.
Yeah. Although these shots are nice. But we got fake aerial shots by going to the top of the Sears Tower.
Yeah, I'm just filming down.
This is back in Milwaukee.
This is the
Behind the
alley
hardware store.
behind the store where I am in working at the moment that this is being shot. And this is where Garrett's voice was completely trashed. And he's just screaming, just screeching his lines because he couldn't talk otherwise.
This is where Garrett got furious at me because I wasn't delivering the lines the same way every take.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
You weren't following the carefully scripted dialogue.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I was barely paying attention to what you guys were saying. You're lucky the camera was pointed in the right direction. Oh, there's Rich Evans' buttons. I think you did that. You attempted to make some sort of interesting pattern, and I said, don't bother. then you stopped. The buttons on the right are mine, where they're like right there. You're like, I'm going to make these alien symbols with the lights. I'm like, don't bother. Let's just get this done. I like that shot, because whatever something was happening in the city where they were shining the spotlights up in the sky.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like they're searching for saucers in the
Searchlights
sky.
for the
like they're military searchlights or something.
Yeah.
It's coincidental, but worked out in our favor.
It's really what saves the movie.
Yeah.
This is another scene like the kitchen scene that I thought worked pretty well as far as dealing with all four of these different personalities, these different characters.
I never noticed we had blinking lights behind Garrett's head.
Oh yeah.
This
You
set,
don't give this movie enough credit, Mike.
I don't. You have to use your imagination a lot in this movie.
You have to imagine you're watching something good.
You have to imagine the sets are
what-
better.
I had to. You'll notice that Sid is on the other side of Ray in that shot because I had to flop the shot because we filmed it from the complete wrong angle, and he was looking off camera in the wrong direction.
Whenever the filmmaker says you really have to use your imagination for this movie, there's a problem. There's a very serious problem. Why Satan?
Why not?
Okay.
Because then you can have a guy in a gorilla costume fighting Satan at the
Yeah.
end of your movie.
I think I still have that alien mask, by the way.
I know we have an alien mask like that. I don't know if it's the same one. It's a little awkward that we don't see. There's no hinting at or foreshadowing the Satan thing. It kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. A scene where Satan comes aboard the ship and steals it.
Yeah,
For this movie, it almost works.
it's fine for this, sure. But
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it from a screenwriting perspective.
Well, yeah, the movie's only an hour long.
We don't
12
even have
other
that
scenes to-
awkward scene. I always think of like slapped in exposition. I think of Spider-Man 3. There's a sequence in that movie that's like I don't even think the scene is a minute long, and they clearly filmed it in post-production, where the two villains team up. Do you remember that scene?
yeah,
It just
yeah.
shows these shadows.
Yeah.
It's the Sandman and what's his name, Venom, and it just shows these shadows
Yeah.
against a brick wall, and he
No,
says,
the-
"Hey, let's team up,"
Yeah.
and then that's the scene.
Yeah, the Sandman's walking down an alley for
Yeah,
no reason.
for no reason.
And then Venom just appears and...
It's so awkward.
Yes.
So there's my old roommate Jesse, in a lot of my old movies. He steals this movie, really. He's just trying to sit on his chair and read a book, and we're like shoving a camera in his face and taking over the apartment.
You might recognize Jesse from the Phantom Menace review. He was
Oh, that's right, he's in that.
interviewed in that.
Yes.
And he was a huge prequel fan, if I remember, wasn't he?
Yeah, at this time
He was a prequel defender. He would say, it's Star Wars, so I'll watch it.
Jesus Christ!
Super.
In fact, if anyone has seen the Garrett's talking to people about Star Wars video on YouTube that was shot during the making of this movie. In this apartment. It was probably shot the night we shot this. And here's a recent addition. That's our friend Jack playing Jesus.
Yes.
But your voice, Mike's voice.
Right. Originally a animated still image of Jesus. And I think this works. At first I was worried about it when he appeared. I was like, but
That's fine.
it works.
It works for this movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Ray can no longer turn into a gorilla since he fucked those dirty whores. Dex obviously doesn't have
I would have those moments when doing effects like this or some of the hell stuff where I'd be really excited. I'd be like, oh, this is starting to look kind of neat. Too bad it's for Gorilla Interrupted.
Yeah.
I smashed it at me last show. It was a bloomin' set and I crocked the crikey on the stage. You what?
Yeah, so Sid smashed his guitar apparently at the rock show.
That's something we probably should see in a real movie.
Yeah, but the point is
Well, the
that
point of it was like an afterthought, because they all needed to be disarmed for the
Yeah.
end.
yeah,
Yeah, it probably wasn't even scripted.
I think we came up with it on the set there.
Probably.
yeah, just at some point Sid smashed his guitar. I didn't even play that show in the movie.
No,
Logic.
yeah, you didn't even go to it.
The alien kidnapped Julia and we ran off. But I guess I found time.
But you didn't care that Julie was kidnapped. Your character's an asshole.
Yeah, I just ran away for an hour and played a rock show and smashed it and then came back. But there is a certain element of cartoon logic in this movie that can be applied
Sure.
to certain parts. And there's Rich Evans.
Look, everybody has cuts on their faces.
Rich Evans'
Everybody's
split lip.
been through some sort of war. You can see Mike's real pants underneath his plaid pants here.
I think that's why I cut this part out. Originally.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
But it doesn't matter.
It's
yeah, those
funny.
are like
I
pajama
kept it in
bottoms or
because I
something.
really liked him just saying, I don't know, it's not my house. Jesse's delivery of that, where he clearly does not care, just really made me laugh. That was at the point when we were living together where we kind of hated each other. We were sick of each other after living together for 2 years. Just kick Deathless.
Kick Deathless. It's the hero shot.
Yes.
Hero's shot. At last, we come to the conclusion of the film, the epic ending in hell.
And this is the new special effects that we shot for this version.
Yeah, this was the most elaborate of the new additions to the movie.
And this is kind of ruined horribly when you see the satin blanket on the floor. Because when we filmed this originally, it was at my grandmother's house, and at this point we had no idea how we were going to finish the movie. This day was probably the worst of it. We weren't even halfway through filming the movie, and we only had a few more days left. I think we were originally going to film this outside, right?
Yeah, I wanted to film like in a field or by dirt or something that we could just tint the color red later and just film it outside, but the idea of doing that was just so overwhelming at the time, dragging all the costumes out there and trying to film outside and all the shots we needed to get. It was just too overwhelming. And then so you guys
someone got the idea just to have like a big blue screen. We bought a giant blue sheet and we just hung it up on the wall.
Yeah, you guys talked me into it, trying to shoot it all on blue screen, and it was just a miserable experience because I'm like, this is the ending of the movie, and we're filming it all on one wall. We have no movement. We can't we have a very limited range of movement.
And we didn't have enough lights to properly
Yeah.
expose the blue screen.
Yeah.
This was really hard to key out properly.
Right.
And as you can see, it's not keyed out properly, but it's probably about as good as you can get with this source material.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was, I think, everybody was at their sickest when we were shooting this.
But do you think we could have finished this if we tried to film this outside? I don't think the movie would have been done.
No.
No, probably not.
No.
And I think, I don't know, I think ultimately, like, this is cheesy special effects, but it's probably more interesting than as an
Yeah.
ending than it would be if we did just shoot in a field or whatever the original idea was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, shooting in a real location, we could have done more.
Sure, have more
But
action and
this,
stuff,
it's like
but this
people
is...
are jammed into the frame together, and
Yeah.
but here we were able to add a new background, though. So
Yeah.
that's one positive.
At
I
least
guess.
it makes the ending a little more memorable than it maybe would have been if we shot outdoors.
Yeah. It gives it a science fiction-y
Yeah.
feel to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, when we were shooting this stuff, it's that horrible feeling you sometimes get when you're making movies, when all you can think about is how much more you have left to shoot. Mm-hmm. And it's just like this looming thing where it's like we've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah. Well,
It's the worst feeling.
Yeah, with a time constraint.
Yeah, exactly. When you realize that you have all this stuff to do in very, very little time.
Yeah, 3/4 of the movie to go, and you have 3 days to cram them in.
It's the flop sweat feeling.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of got that again when we were shooting the Great Space Jam.
Oh, yeah.
When it was just like, there's so much left to do.
I like how you're actually denting Satan's armor
His plastic armor, yeah.
with the plastic broom.
I love how Julie's tied up with an extension cord.
We spared no expense with the...
Yeah, very loosely tied up. I actually tried to key that out because it's just all bright orange. I thought maybe I could do something with it and put in flames or something, but I couldn't get it to key out, so I said, we'll deal with it.
I like this shot of you because you're moving in the frame. It's sort of... The background isn't moving. But
Oh,
you are.
yeah. I tried when there were camera movements. That was so subtle. That's just like
match it.
handheld, but
Yeah.
with like zoom-ins and stuff, I tried to change the background too, but a shot like that is difficult.
Oh, yeah. It's not worth the effort.
Not for Gorilla Interrupted. But this was asking everybody to improv when
Well, everybody
was sick and their minds were not.
Only half
creative.
of us had a voice left.
Yeah.
You can hear Mike in these scenes. He's got no voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember just being zoned out, sick out of my mind, where I couldn't think.
Yeah.
I think this is where Garrett went over and threw up in the sink.
From yelling?
From yelling, yeah, just from...
But at least there's the line, I hope you get hit by cars. Many cars from many different directions. That's impressive that you came up with that in your state. In your mental state. Yeah, this was... The footage was not there to... Like, it wasn't shot in a way where... Because this wasn't written. I think it was probably just written as... Then they argue.
Well, it's supposed to be like an escalation.
It was supposed to escalate,
Yeah.
yeah, and the footage was not there, so it
Well,
was
this-
like
this
completely
was it.
creating something in editing.
This was it. Rich eventually
Rich
started
just
to
yelling,
yell,
but the all three of them arguing.
Yeah.
Like everybody was zoned out. Garrett was trying to be funny at a
Yeah,
point when
that
it
was the
wasn't
biggest
supposed to be
problem.
funny. So there's all these problems, and it was just sort of
Yeah.
trying to create something in editing that doesn't exist.
I remember me and Rich would argue, and then we would kind of look to Garrett, and he would just say something like silly.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm a virgin.
I've got
I
a
remember
carrot.
that. I've got a carrot.
yeah, and then it would like stop the whole scene, and we'd have to start over.
Yeah, it was just everybody was in their own little world when trying to shoot that.
But this is the
This
point
is
of
the
the whole
action.
movie.
The point of the whole movie is to get a guy in a monkey costume to fight a guy in a Halloween mask
I
with a
think-
plastic gun.
Isn't this the dictionary definition of schlock?
Yes, it is.
The plot synopsis for Gorilla Interrupted is in there. And Garrett did Satan's voice because his voice was trashed, and so it worked really well for Satan. I lowered I lowered the pitch of it, but his voice sounded really raspy and horrible, so it was good for Satan.
I don't know if this ever came across in this dialogue, but Satan was supposed to shoot his gun, use the power of the gun to open a rift between hell and earth.
Oh,
And-
yeah,
and
and
that's-
this he just kind of says that he's going to use it to conquer the world.
Yeah, I think-
that's not in here.
In the updated script, it's him firing it into the sky, and it starts to like burrow into the fabric between two worlds.
Oh, okay.
Like that's how powerful
Okay.
the Quark engine was.
Well, that makes sense.
And I don't think that came across at all in this.
No,
No,
it doesn't.
it
I had
doesn't.
no idea until just now.
I had no clue that was what was supposed to be happening.
I had no idea, and I was in the movie.
Yeah, these miniatures look nice when the footage from Gorilla Interrupted isn't in front of them. The lava looks nice. What was used for lava?
Stuff called Methicil, which is like a food thickening agent.
Yeah.
You can just put like a tiny amount in a bucket of water, in like a few hours, you'll have like a solid Jello mold.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that middle phase where it's kind of gooey, it makes good lava.
There's some miniature explosions. Shot in slow-mo.
Shot in slow motion.
Jacob gets his wish, the ultimate trophy.
Yes. Yeah, almost everybody has a little arc to their character.
What is Ray's arc?
Ray doesn't really
Yeah,
have one.
I mean,
he turns into the
he-
gorilla. He uses anger for a good thing, I guess.
He
you could
finds
say.
peace, and then his character arc is undone at the end.
Well, that is his arc.
It's
that's
a
sort of-
reverse arc.
Yeah,
Well,
reverse arc.
Everything horrible happens to Ray.
Ray has
Yeah.
a character circle.
Right.
Sid does the least. I guess he kind of helps escalate the
He's
the
comic
arguing.
relief, really.
Yeah, that's sort of his whole character is he doesn't care. At the end of this movie, he just says, "Fuck this, I'm leaving." So the lack of arc on him is sort of the point.
Yeah, he's a character that doesn't learn anything.
Yeah.
I feel like singing. That's so stupid. And cliched. Fuck you and fuck this. I'm going to start me punk band. I should leave as well. I've got a trophy to mount. Good luck.
Does he have a scar on his neck? What is that?
Yeah.
Does he still have that? I
still
don't.
has
I
it.
don't remember
His scar
that.
did not go away. No. He had major surgery on his neck to remove giant tumors.
I don't remember
So-
that. I'm sorry.
That seems like a good place to end our Girl Interrupted commentary.
Thank you, folks.
Yes, thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this experience, because we didn't. So, that's that. Someday we hope to remake this movie.
Yeah, it's one of those things. We've always liked the concept and the characters. The problem is the movie. So maybe someday we'll do
But
something.
we've often discussed that's what makes this movie fun, is the fact that it is slapped together.
So terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that if you did it better.
It's got potential energy.
Yes.
I guess.
Well, thank you. Goodbye.